So now both your hands are free of the shellac. You can now file down your nails. Just file the free edge however you'd like. So I usually just go for a nice round. With a round nail, I find that you will get less breakage. Obviously, the shorter you go, the less breakage you'll have as well. So sometimes when you have removed your shellac, you'll see the white dots that you can see on my nails now. The main reason that I've got mine is I had hard gel nails on, which is basically similar to an acrylic nail. So I did have an extension on, so I do have a little tiny bit of damage, but that is not from the shellac. It is actually from the extension that I had on. And also the white dots that you see here is dehydration from when I had those extensions on. So it has nothing to do with the shellac itself. And also if I was to leave these free of any sort of product for about a day, those white dots would disappear because obviously they would have more hydration. So it's nothing to worry about when you have your shellac removed and you do see these white dots. It's just a part of the process. Obviously you've had something covering your nails for 2 weeks. So also what to look out for when you're going to get your nails done, make sure the person that's doing your nails isn't sawing backwards and forwards like this, because it's really bad for your nail plate. What it does is it separates the actual layers. So we have lots of different layers on our nail plate, and when somebody saws away like this, it actually loosens the layers, and that's when you start to get flaking on your nails. So be very careful of things like that. So the next thing that we're going to need is cuticle remover. You can get cuticle remover or you can have cuticle softener. And you can pretty much get this from anywhere. You can get it from Boots or Superdrugs. And then I just place it onto my cuticle like this. And I just want to let you guys know that the nozzle is not actually touching my skin, just for like cross-contamination purposes. But if you're working on yourself, then you don't really need to be too worried about things like that. Now I've got really sharp tools when it comes to dealing with my cuticles, just because I want my cuticles to be absolutely neat. I'd like them to be pushed back, but I don't want to be applying any pressure to my nail plate. So what I do is I usually let this soak for about 2 or 3 minutes, depending on how long I have. And I will just start pushing back with the sort of curved end first. And then I'm going to go in with the sort of knife area, and it is quite straight and it's got a little curvature, and I will then start to remove any loose bits of skin from the wall area here, just from here, and then from this side here, making sure not to apply any pressure to the nail. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm actually trying to use a sort of circular motion as I go as well. So here are my cuticle nippers, and I will start to nip just from the corner here, and it should really just be you removing any of the non-living tissue. And it should pretty much come off in one solid piece. And then if you see any loose bits hanging around the nail, you can also nip those away as well. That nail is done, and I just want to show you the difference between this nail and this nail. Can you see the cuticle? Look how much nicer this one looks. There's just such a big difference. So now that these are all done, I get to a block. You can use a white block if you'd like, but I usually use a block like this just because it's got a softer grip. And then I will just sort of dust away any of the loose skin that I can see. And this also just gives your natural nail a little bit of a buff. If you aren't going to be applying shellac after your removal, then you can use a nail brush and use the nail brush instead of using this block, because then obviously you won't need to have any sort of shine removed from your nail plate. So it will probably be better if you used a nail brush, because then at least you're still getting rid of the loose bits of skin there without sort of removing any of the shine from your nail, which is obviously not what you want if you're just going to have them free of the shellac for a while. So this is one hand done, just to give you a good idea of what it looks like when you've had your cuticles done properly. I'm just hoping that this is going to grow out soon. It will grow out soon, but you can sort of tell this here is obviously how far out the hard gels have grown out. So I've just got a little bit longer to go and then they'll be gone. So I'm going to repeat that process on the other side. And obviously I'm not as good with this hand as I am with the right hand, so it's a little bit more difficult with your left hand to do things like this if you're not right-handed, and vice versa. So just, I mean, keep practicing, you'll be fine, but to begin with it is quite frustrating.